What is up, guys? We're back with another episode of The Devil on G String. Last we left off, Tsubaki kind of did some interrogating on our girl, Usami. And things got a little weird from then on. But now, Kyousuke's at Tsubaki's house, talking to her dad about the loan. Let's get right into it. The truth is, sir, a loan's a loan. Things will get a bit messy if you can't return it. I started talking to Tsubaki's dad about the land. There's still a week until the deadline, but the money was borrowed without any real means of paying it back in the first place. They're aware of your situation as well, so we'll most likely end up having to seize your land. Yeah, that sucks. I sympathize with your situation, but... I'm very sorry. I lowered my head. I apologize, sir. I do feel like I may be meddling a bit too much, but... Well, you guys are a bit of a tight spot and all, so I tried to negotiate with my father. As a result, I was able to get a real estate agent to prepare a new home for you. If it pleases you, you can move in there. His eyes went around. I've already mentioned that. He bowed deeply. Oh, an adult bowing to a kid like me? Still, I felt nothing. For more information, can you talk to the person in charge directly? I took out a card from the real estate agency. It's a subsidiary of Sanao Corporation. The same company arranged to buy the land from the lender after it's been sieged. Things are going to get pretty tough from this point forward. Well, if you had done that, you wouldn't even have to borrow money. There weren't any other options. The kidnapper demanded 50 million yen in a single day. Even if they sold the land, it would take at least a week to finalize everything. Yeah. He looked around nostalgically. So that means maybe a week. I'm actually a bit relieved that you folks have come to terms with moving out. Tsubaki's father cocked his head to the side and thought for a moment. That came out wrong. I just meant that it would be hard on you if you decide to stay behind on land that had already been seized. To come home one day only to find all your furniture gone, replaced by a lone eviction notice pasted on your door. To have nowhere to go under the cold night sky. I shook the painful memories from my head. Well, it's time for me to leave. I apologize again for not being much help. Tsubaki! He called to the depths of the house. I'm going home. Two kids chased after Tsubaki. Wonder how's his mom doing. The kids surrounded Tsubaki. It's fine. I only came here to have a talk with your dad anyways. If there's one thing to say about the Miwa kids, is that they certainly are outgoing. I wouldn't be surprised if Hiroki went with the kidnapper out of his own free will. By the way, where's your mom? I couldn't get it off my mind, so I stopped and asked before I left.
ちょっと体調悪いみたいで。
Is she sleeping? Tsubaki nodded. Give her my best wishes. I'll see you tomorrow.
じゃあね。また来てね。
Shouts out bye bye boyfriend, followed from the kids just like chirping birds.
さあさあ、ご飯にするよ。
The house echoed with laughter as I left. Usami! Ah! A bundle of long hair smothered my face as soon as I stepped out onto the porch.
なんすか、いきなり抱きついてきて。
Oh, that's a face I've never seen. I wasn't embracing you. What are you doing here?
椿の家に行くって言ってたじゃないですか。
Hmm? Alright, I thought you were kidding.
浅井さんはどうも私のことを軽んじてますね。
Jeez, ouch. Her eyes were crystal clear. You call this coming to Tsubaki's house? What time do you think it is?
だから遅くなるかもって言いましたよ。
Why are you so late anyway? Work?
いえ、アルバイトはしばらく入れないようにしています。
Oh, alright. What? Why?
いろいろと調べたいことがありまして。
Investigate? Don't tell me you're still on that.
はい。
Hi! She said it as though it was the most obvious thing in the world. Just leave it to the police.
警察には連絡していないそうじゃないですか。
Even so, why would you go to the trouble of doing it yourself?
気が済むまでやりたいだけです。
Well, she did talk real big about catching the kidnapper, but then ended up not accomplishing a single thing after all. What are you trying to find this time?
ひろあきくんの消息です。
Hiroki? And did you manage to find
い
anything?
いえ、
No. Don't say it so confidently.
すいません。
This girl is hopeless.
犯人がひろあきくんを連れ去ったであろう場所は特定できました。
Oh, come on. Everybody knows it happened somewhere between the kindergarten and his house.
おっしゃる通りです。今日はずっとその道を行ったり来たりして、たまにすれ違う人にお話を伺ってました。
In other words, you were looking for a witness?
はい、
Did you find one?
さっぱりです。白いセダンを見ませんでしたかと何度聞いたことか。
A white sedan?
ええ、先日南区の住宅街に止まっていた車です。椿はそこに呼び出されました。
Did you see it happen?
はい。後から聞いた話だと、魔王は椿とドライブするつもりだったとか。
That's not the point. Do you remember the license plate number?
覚えていますよ、もちろん。
Oh, alright. Good shit. Then can we check who owns the car?
陸運局ですか。
No, there's a website that can give you more detailed information than the Department of Transportation. They can even sniff out light vehicles and motorcycles.
しかし、魔王も当然、車から足がつく可能性を想定しているはずです。
Well, if he used a stolen car, Lord knows what information you get out of the license plate number.
ええ。ですので、調べてはいません。
She hung her head and closed her eyes. Usami always looks a little gloomy, so it's hard to say whether or not she's depressed. Say, do you ever figure out how the kidnapper took the ransom? What? Cat got your tongue? Ooh, shit. Usami frowned.
もし分かったとして、何になるのかなと思いまして、ふと虚しくなりました。
Come again?
すいません、逆ギレみたいで。
I have no idea what you're talking about.
ですから、もう身代金は奪われたんです。私は探偵さんではないんです。犯行の手口を暴くことに、それほど意味があるとは思えないんです。
Well, aren't you at least curious?
今は、椿の弟さんを探すのに、全力を尽くしたいんです。
Usami can be pretty stubborn when she wants to be. I guess this means she doesn't know how the kidnapper did it. I thought she was smart, but in the end, she's just a strange girl.
浅井さん、 よかったら協力してもらえませんかね。
Now? What are you talking
も
about?
ちろん、ひろあきくんを探すことをです。
Des. For a moment, I didn't know how to reply. Sure. It's for Tsubaki, so I guess I could spare some time. If Hierarchy doesn't come back, Tsubaki's family will most definitely call the police. An investigation would prompt Sanao Corporation to put unimaginable pressure on the Azai Corporation. We need to find Hierarchy, even if it means making use of company resources. I don't know if it'll be any of use, so don't expect anything.
いえいえ、浅井さんはかの浅井工業の御曹司じゃないですか。
She brought up the subject smoothly. She caught me so off guard, I almost didn't catch it. What did you just say? And Usami ignored my question.
お父さんは浅井権蔵さんという名前ですよね。
Should I answer or not? My silence was my answer. How did you know? Usami suddenly started acting flustered.
私は浅井さんのことが好きなので、浅井さんのことは何でも知りたいんです。
God damn this woman. That's disgusting, alright? Stop giving me goosebumps.
ざわざわすか。いただきました。
It was so gross that I couldn't help but frown.
学園の先生にちょっと聞いただけですが、そんなに気持ち悪かったですかね。
You got a lot of nerve to go on acting like that in front of someone you just did a background check on.
別に探りを入れようなどとは思っていなかったんですが、そんなに触れてはいけないステータスだったんですか？
Now that she mentioned it, that information really wasn't enough to get all that worked up about. What I really didn't want people to know was my position in the Azai Corporation. Don't tell anybody.
勇気もありませんが、なぜです？
Because I hate standing out. I always have. The most suitable place for me is hidden in the dark silence, silently observing.
なんか、すいません。
Usami stared at me.
そして協力していただけるようで、ありがとうございます。
That fucking smile! But you're such a weirdo.
はい？
You're under the impression that Hiroki is no longer of this world, aren't you?
その可能性が高いとは思っています。
If so, why even bother looking for him?
可能性が高いというだけで、絶対ではありませんから。人の命がかかっています。絶対ではない以上、かけなければならない可能性が残っています。
Gamble. I was a little impressed. And here I thought you were a person who functioned solely on logic.
そうっすか？
Well, whatever. Anyway, I'm going home.
あ、じゃあ、携帯電話の番号を交換しませんか？
Oh, shit. Exchange. You have a cell phone now?
はい。さすがに契約しました。1円携帯ですが。
A 1 yen cell? What does that mean? Finally noticed the inconvenience, eh? I put her number into my phone as I told her mine.
これあれですよね。恋人登録みたいなことをすると、お互いの通話料が安くなるサービスありましたよね。
This woman. Please, God, not again. You disgusting woman. Well, yeah, that's true.
ぜひお願いしたいんですけど。
Huh?
いや、変な勘違いなさらないでください。自分男性の友人がいませんで、それでもお金は乏しいわけでして、これはつまり、浅井さんに一肌脱いでもらうしかないわけです。はい。
I get it already. Jesus, you're gross.
すみませんね。だからって、たくさん電話したりしませんから。
Please don't call me for anything stupid. I beg of you. Saya.
はい。自分はこれから椿と椿のお父さんにいくつか聞きたいことがありますので。
I left the Miwa household. What? Usami?
つながった。
Oh, this woman. Ha!
自分携帯電話とか持つの初めてでして。なんだか ドキドキしますね。マイ形態は。
は？
ああ、特に用事はないです。つながるかなとドキドキしたかっただけです。
This girl is so annoying. She lied again. The feeling that she was betraying her family and friends was positively suffocating.
本当にこれで弟を返してもらえるんですか?
The kidnapper, Maou, had given Tsubaki a single order last night.
言われた通りにハルちゃんに昨日の話をしました。
In other words, she questioned the relationship between Haru and Maou, and the reason behind Haru's refusal to deliver the ransom.
どう思った?
Maou suddenly asked.
どうって
Tsubaki went speechless.
嫌でした。
Maou stirred a bit behind Tsubaki.
宇佐美はお前が納得いく答えを口にしたか?
Oof.
納得?
Oof.
はぐらかされたのではないか?
Tsubaki thought back to the conversation at school this morning.
ハルちゃんが身代金を渡そうとしないのはハルちゃんなりに理由があってのことで、それは理解できました。
私との関係は?
それは
Tsubaki's attention dropped to the hands of her on her knees.
言いたくないことの一つくらいあると思うんです。
That's true.
いい答えだ。
Maou teased Tsubaki.
しかし宇佐美が怖くはないのか?
怖い?
私のような卑劣な凶悪犯と知り合いなのだぞ。
A gulp escaped her throat. She knew she had hit the mark. That was a suspicious that had been bugging her since dusk. Yet fear was not the thing she felt. Haru was exhausted from trying to help Tsubaki. Though the ransom was still taken in the end, she still clearly felt Haru's effort. There was no reason behind it. Tsubaki trusted Haru by instinct.
椿、人を疑わないというのは相手を軽んじているのも同じだぞ。
なぜですか?
相手に深い興味を持てば疑うものなのだ。お前は人を疑わないことで人間関係の煩わしさから逃げているに過ぎない。
Trepidation grew inside Tsubaki. How could this man behind her say such piercing things? Things capable of penetrating her very
お
soul.
前のような一見優しいようでいて実は何も考えていないだけの人間を何というか知っているか?
偽善です。
Oh, what a fucking word. Mao's tone deepened again.
坊やだ。
Oh, that's so good. Maou continued with a cold voice.
親が親というだけで信じる。お前もそうだ。お前も友人が友人というだけで信じる。
Speechlessness, discomfort, an alarm rang in her mind, warning her that she could not continue listening to this madman's soft whispers.
それより言うことは聞いたんですから弟を早く返してください。
She gave her all to change the course of the conversation.
どうしても返さないって言うなら警察に通報しますよ。
When she thought of Hiroki, the forthcoming anger pushed away her
警
confusion.
察は許してほしい
Oh,
な。なあ椿、私にだって深い事情があるのだ。何も好き好んで5歳の少年を誘拐したと思うか?
それは
Tsubaki shook her head. For a moment, she had sympathy for the kidnapper. She gathered up her courage and answered Maou.
どんな事情があっても決してやってはいけないことはあると思うんです。
Damn, she's going hard.
もっともな言葉だ。身にしみる。
だったらもうこんなことはやめにしませんか?
やめる?
Stop.
ひろあきさえ返してもらえれば警察には連絡しませんから。もともとそのつもりでしたから。
She flung out those words, but it was not what she was thinking. Though she really didn't plan on calling the police, she still held hopes that Haru would catch the kidnapper. Come to think of it, she really was non-committal. As if he had already known her thoughts, Maou said.
やってはいけないことはある。ただ、それを承知の上でなおやらねばならないこともあると私は思うが。
そういうお話はもう結構です。
では、話題を変えて弟の話をしよう。
There was an urge in her right now to ignore the consequences and turn around.
ひろあきは無事なんですね。
宇佐美はどうも死んだことにしたいらしいが、ちゃんと生きている。監禁しているとはいえ、食事もきちんととっているし、部屋もしっかりと温めている。
This one sentence eased the tension on Tsubaki's mind. She sighed in relief, forming a white haze in the cold air.
私は子供が好きだ。昨日は暇を見つけて小さなおもちゃを与えてやった。弟は喜んでいたぞ。人懐っこい少年だな、あれは。
そうですか。
She held back tears. Hope flooded her heart, and she felt refreshed now that her predominant concern had been sorted out.
返してほしいか。
She wanted to answer, but she could not choke out a voice. I want to see him.
なら、私の言うことを聞けるな。
The devil sneered. His voice carried with it a tempting invitation, an invitation that was impossible to refuse. Tsubaki tasted a strange, perverted sense that he was directing her to the borders of hell. However, that awkward feeling only lasted for but a moment. The thick clouds covered the approaching November night sky, introducing an endless darkness.